Man, we got Chicago's Tooka's last hours. Let's go.
15-year-old Chanel Greg.
Man, we got Chicago's Tooka's last hours. Let's go.
15-year-old Chanel Gregory was shot in the 500 block of East 63rd Street. The boy was
We
on the
not from
street when a suspect got out of
63rd.
a vehicle and shot him multiple times. That gunman got back into the car and fled west on 63rd. Police say Gregory was dead on the scene. The incident is possibly gang-related. No one is in custody.
Possibly. Come on now.
My son
Damn, they got his mama on here.
laying on that cold ground. I knew I gotta get over there to be with my son.
I can't
My
imagine
cousin
losing my
came in
baby
there
boy.
running to me crying and shit, talking about, your friend just got killed. You feel me? Then I ran all the way from 62nd and Wabash all the way to 63rd to St. Lawrence. Saved them right there on the
What J
spot.
Man say? That's for Duck, nigga.
Dude broke right down.
You
You know,
stupid.
you see your friend dead, you actually gonna start crying.
January 12, 2011. The city of Chicago was
2011.
changed forever. One life was taken, and the gang feud that followed resulted in many shootings and still continue to this day. Shondell Gregory, a young boy known to his peers as Tooka, told his mother the haunting last words, "Mama, I'm coming home." But he never made it. That morning, the sun rose on what was thought to be a normal day in the city, but it would turn out to be a disaster. Tooka's mother handed him a letter to take to school to deal with the matter of his suspension for having an altercation with the teacher.
He had got suspended for school. I'll go get him back in school. He had got into it with a teacher. So they sent him home.
Tooka was excited, especially for school that day, because he would get to do something he was passionate about: wrestling. It was a recreation that
Why they
everyone
got
could play with his
WWE in
hands.
the background?
Shondell had a match that day and was focused on coming out the winner.
Tuka was
His
Rey
sister was home at the
Mysterio. Let me
time
find
and
out.
was leaving for a doctor's appointment. So the original plan was for him to head out along with her.
My daughter was there because she had a doctor's appointment. So she was gonna leave kind of late. But she like, come on, Tooka, we gotta do woo woo woo. I'm like, Tooka, what are you doing now? I'm telling him, come on, son, you gotta go to school, walk the way, woo woo woo.
Tooka, however, hid until his sister left and then proceeded to school on his own.
He went and hid until she left out.
The hours passed. From that early morning into the evening, Tooka was still alive and breathing, and honestly, having a great day. At 6:04 p.m., he was at the bus stop at 63rd Street in St. Lawrence when he made a call to his mother with good news. He had won his wrestling match. The happiness and joy in his voice was a moment that made both himself and his mother proud.
He called me and say, Mama, I did. I won my wrestling match. I was like, good, son. Come on home. I was, ooh, that's what.
She was excited to see her son to enjoy a night after his big win. But sadly, that joy would soon turn into sorrow.
Damn.
His mother began preparing something special for the
It'd be
occasion
crazy when you
for
be
when
getting
he
the
got home.
backstory behind the whole
So
day.
she went ahead to the kitchen where she was seasoning some
Like,
chicken.
these just be normal
Yeah, I was
people,
seasoning the
bro.
chicken. I'm telling him, come on home, son. So that's all I'm waiting for is my son to
Black
come through
people.
this door so I give him a hug and
Black fucking people.
feed him real good. And we going to talk about his match.
She was unaware that after that
We gonna
call
cook
at
some chicken
6:04
now.
p.m., it would only be a couple of minutes before tragedy struck. At approximately 6:48 p.m., Tuka was at the bus stop on 63rd and St. Lawrence, in the Woodlawn neighborhood in Southside Chicago, with two other witnesses awaiting a bus. A dark colored vehicle pulled up. A passenger who was wearing a half mask jumped out, and there's rumored to have been
Mm.
a brief exchange of words before Shondell Gregory, aka Tuka, was shot several times about his body. News reports further allege that he staggered to a nearby trash can where the gunman shot him a couple more times to the back
I heard
before
him. I
fleeing
heard
the
them
scene of
dissing
the
him for that
vehicle.
too.
By the time
Saying they
police
left him by the
personnel and
trash can.
paramedics
That's
arrived at the
crazy.
scene of the crime, Tooka had already succumbed to his injuries. Shondell, whose name at the time was yet fully identified by media outlets, died at the scene.
15-year-old Chanel
That's a
Gregory was
damn
shot in the
shame.
500 block of
15.
East 63rd Street. The boy was on the street when a suspect got out of a vehicle and shot him multiple times. That gunman got back into the car and fled west on 63rd. Police say Gregory was
We
dead
not
on the
from
scene. The
63rd.
incident is possibly gang-related. No one is in custody.
According to law
Possibly.
enforcement, his
Fuck
incident was
on.
no random shooting, but gang related. Information from authorities state that he was a known gang member of the Gangster Disciples, and his assassination was retaliation for the shooting of a Black Disciple affiliate. Tooka was often seen throwing up gang signs in pictures and even in videos, repping the set
But let the moms tell it though.
STL
These kids be innocent. I know the
STL
moms
stands for
be at
St.
work and
Lawrence
whatnot. You know
Boys,
how that go. But
reflecting the area of St.
still,
Lawrence Street and
stop.
63rd. The set is labeled a rival of the opposing Wick City, which is now popularly known as O Block.
Took it to
Shondell
the
Gregory,
O.
aka Tooka, was well respected in the
Took it to the O.
STLEBT, and in his honor, the name was changed to Tookaville. Rival gang members like Chief Keef and King Von went on to mock his passing and used his
Dissed
name
him
to
out
push
that
away
ass
disrespectful
too.
terms like Smoking Tooka and Tooka
A
Pack
good 10
and a
years.
bunch of others. The slander on his name by
Ain't
these
gonna lie.
famous
Somebody
gang
put
members
my homie
inspired
in a
an
song like
entire
that. I'm
generation of
sliding on.
rappers that
That shit
constantly
over
name
with.
drop Tooka in their songs. This, however, has led to many becoming targets for associates of Tooka that honor his legacy, prompting public apologies. One such affiliate and close friend standing up for his name was FBG Duck, who later also lost his life due to gang violence in August 2020. To FBG Duck,
Bunch of
this was
ignorance
a
going
brother,
on,
and he
boy.
felt the pain of his loss deeply, running to see Tooka when he heard the news of his shooting.
And my cousin came in there running to me crying and shit, talking about, your friend just
What
got
FBG
killed.
man said.
You
That's
feel
for
me?
Duck,
Then I
nigga.
ran all the way
Duck,
from
duck.
62nd and Wabash all the way to 63rd and St. Lawrence.
I'ma keep saying that.
Checked them right
That
there on
shit
the floor.
funny as hell.
You know, they broke right down. You know, you see your friend dead, you actually gonna start crying.
While the street erupted in a back and forth, where friends and rivals go at it over his passing, there was a much more painful story for persons like his mother. She recalls how gut wrenching and agonizing finding out about her son. The last time she heard her son was at 6:04 p.m. when they spoke about him winning his wrestling match, and she was preparing a nice meal to celebrate when he got home. Sadly, she got another call not long after. This time, the atmosphere wasn't of joy, but denial and pain. On the other end of the call was a detective calling to inform her that there was a shooting and her son, Shondell Gregory, was involved.
The detective called me.
They gonna say involved. Was he hit? Like, come on now, don't be doing that.
Is you somebody's mama?
Making it sound like
And
he
I'm
the
like,
shooter.
yeah,
Come
that's
on.
my son because he had the note inside his pants pocket that was sending him home. He said, well, we want to call you and let you know there's been a shooting and he's been involved.
At that moment, Tooka's mother completely blocked out any belief that his life was lost. Even on the way to the crime scene, she kept telling herself he's okay and everything is fine. Arriving to
That's
the
a damn
location, she
shame.
was still not coming to terms with Tooka being gone. Instead, she looked for him in an ambulance to reunite with her son. What she was instead met with was the grueling image of her son covered in a white blanket,
Mm.
on the floor beside a bus stop with shattered glass. Her body went numb.
And that's the last memory I have of my son. It's him telling me my mom coming home. And he never walked through them doors again.
It's a
That shit's sick, man. 15 years old, man. Let's stop the ignorant shit in Chicago, boy.